You can buy a house in Cincinnati, Ohio using very little money or even no money out of your own pocket.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Yes, this is true. I've helped a lot of buyers accomplish this using different programs offered to buyers who are purchasing homes here in Ohio. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about exactly how you can do this, the exact strategy and what the qualifications are for you to be able to buy a house with no money. So if you're thinking about buying your first home in Cincinnati, or maybe you're moving to the Cincinnati area soon and you don't have a ton of cash for a down payment, and maybe you're just trying to think about some ways to keep some of your money in your pocket, then this video is for you. You don't want to miss this. We're getting into it right now. What's going on? It's Victor Pham. I'm a full-time realtor here in the Cincinnati metro area, where we talk about all things Cincinnati, all things real estate. So if you want to know what it's like to live, work, eat, play, and chill in Cincinnati and the Cincinnati suburbs, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. That way you don't miss any new videos as soon as I put them out. I'm helping people all the time buy and sell real estate in Cincy and the Cincy suburbs. So if you're thinking about buying or selling a home in the Cincy metro area, feel free to reach out to me. I'm sure I can help you too. And remember, when it comes to houses in Cincinnati, you can always call Vic. All right, how do you buy a home with no money down in Cincinnati, Ohio? Well, the answer is this. You need to qualify for down payment assistance. This is a program offered by mortgage brokers and various mortgage lenders throughout the state of Ohio. Now, understand that not all lenders provide down payment assistance, so you need to look around a little bit. It's not something that all lenders do. And also remember that everything that I speak about in this video is specific to the lenders that I work with personally. I can't speak on what the other lenders you may have talked to offer, or lenders in a different state like California, Georgia, New York, wherever. I'm talking about what we're getting buyers approved for here in the state of Ohio, specifically in the Cincy metro area. So how do you get approved to use this down payment assistance program? Well, first you need to meet a few general criteria. Number one is going to be your credit score. You're going to need a minimum credit score of about 650 to get the assistance. Now, that is a general rule of thumb. It might be possible to get it done at a lower credit score than 650, but that's typically going to be the minimum, right around 650. Now, I always encourage my buyers to monitor their credit score prior to applying and to try to be at least a 660 FICO score before they apply. I mean, the higher the better, right? You want to increase your chances of getting approved, because the higher your credit score is, the more lenient the lenders are going to be on the other criteria, like the next big thing they look at, which is DTI. DTI is an abbreviation for debt to income ratio, and all that means is the percentage of your current debts divided by your income. So let's say your monthly debts, rent, mortgage, car payments, stuff like that, when you add them all up, it all comes to $2,000. And the amount of gross income you bring home before taxes every month is $5,000. Well, 2,000 divided by 5,000 is 40. So your DTI is 40%. Now, generally, my lenders are going to want you to have a DTI usually between 38 and 45%. So 38 less is even better, 45% on the high end. When you get much higher than that, they start to see you as a high risk. I mean, they want to make sure you can make the mortgage payments. That's why this calculation is so important to them.
And if you can't get the money together in 90 days, we're going to have to sell the house to someone else. You hate me, don't you? No, I don't hate you. He hates me.
But like I said, when I was talking about credit score, the higher that score, the more leniency they're going to give you on that DTI. I actually have a lender that will let you go up to 50% debt to income ratio if your credit is over 680. So the higher that credit score, the more wiggle room you're going to have on that DTI. But typically 45%, that's going to be the max on that DTI. Another criteria in order to get into this program is the income cap. So they do put a cap on how much money you can make. Guys, these programs are designed to assist people who actually need the assistance. The national average salary for an American right now is roughly $50K. And there are actually a lot of people who make well under $50,000, and these are typically the type of candidates who are going to fit best into these programs. So they usually will cap you around $100K salary, meaning you can't make more than $100,000 a year. And let's be honest, guys, if you're making over $100,000 a year, you're doing better than more than 50% of Americans. So I would assume you're able to come up with a minimum down payment on a home. If not, then maybe you want to reassess how you're allocating your income, because there's probably something off there as far as where your money is going and why you can't come up with a down payment. you probably want to look at that first before you try to buy a house. But $100,000 maximum yearly income, that's typically the standard. And finally, if you meet all these criteria, the last thing they're going to ask you for is to complete a first-time home buyers course of some sort. Now, these are like mini classes assigned by the state to allow you to be approved to receive that down payment assistance. Some buyers will get the classes themselves and then get the certificate and then go find their lender. A lot of my buyers will just get pre-approved by my lenders, and then that lender will just send them a link to go take the classes. And they're not like super hard courses or anything like that. Usually a few online videos you can watch about being a first-time home buyer, how to be responsible with money, stuff of that nature. You watch the videos, answer the questions, and they send you a certificate of completion once you're done. And those are pretty much all the qualifications you need in order to get you in position to get your pre-approval letter, which you need for us to go out and start looking at houses so you can make offers. Now, what the lender actually gives you is down payment assistance, meaning they're generally going to cover only your down payment, and usually they'll cover all of that. However, there are additional costs when you purchase a piece of real estate. You're going to have closing costs, usually both from the lender and the title company or escrow, attorney, whoever closes the deal for you. There are going to be fees, but they are less than the down payment, usually a few thousand. This is going to be the part that determines how much money you actually bring to the closing table. The trick is you want to try to get as much help from the seller with your closing costs as you possibly can. And how do we do that? Well, we just ask for it.
He says, hey, a closed mouth won't get fed, right? And you have to ask for what you want. If you don't ask, you don't get.
When I'm writing a contract for a client, there's a little spot there that asks me how much money do I want to ask the seller to help my buyer with on their closing costs. And in that space, you can ask for whatever you want, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, whatever we feel is reasonable based on your specific situation and the property that we are writing the offer on. Now, this is becoming a lot easier to do now that the market is starting to shift. Things are starting to favor the buyers more, so it's probably going to be much easier getting closing cost help from the seller now and going forward than it was back in 2021 and early 22. But this is that critical part that is going to help you bring as little as possible to the table when using your down payment assistance programs. How much help you get from the seller. The more open to helping you the seller is, the less you're going to have to bring to the table. I found that buyers typically end up bringing between $1,000 and $2,000 to the table, and that was when the market was hot and sellers were really getting whatever they wanted. I'll give you an example of a client I helped a couple months ago who used down payment assistance. She bought a home for a little over $200,000. She made a deposit of $1,000 on the house. There's almost always going to be a deposit you have to put down. Keep that in mind. She paid $500 for an inspection. I always recommend an inspection. It's not mandatory, but I do recommend it. Some buyers don't get it. Most buyers do. So that's $1,000 plus $500. She's in it for $1,500 from the jump. We get the seller to agree to pay $4,500 of closing cost help for the buyer. But in the end, the closing costs actually only ended up being $3,500. So in the end, that $1,000 deposit ended up getting refunded back to her because there was an excess of funds. She essentially walked away with that house for only $500 out of her own pocket, total. I mean, guys, that's a pretty good deal if you ask me. $500 for a really nice home, you might as well say that's free. I mean, that's next to nothing. So yes, it is very possible to buy a home for free or pretty much next to free using one of these programs. Just pick your lender and your realtor wisely. Make sure they're on the same page. Make sure they understand your situation. That way they can work together to get you the best possible deal. I hope that helps you understand some of the programs we have going on here in Cincy. If you're thinking about buying or selling a home in Cincy or the suburbs around Cincy, feel free to reach out to me. I'm always ready to help you meet your real estate goals. Let me know in the comments, what do you think about this program? You think you can meet these criteria and get approved for down payment assistance? I think you could. It's all mindset. Reach out to me, we'll get you there. If you're interested in more videos about what it's like living in Cincinnati, Ohio, check out these videos right over here. Thanks for watching, and remember, when it comes to houses in Cincinnati, you can always call Vic.